What is up, guys? It is your LOL support here. Be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up. Like us on Facebook and Twitter to ask us questions and to receive news on the channel. Links for both will be in the description below. And last, be sure to tick that subscribe button to join our team, but more importantly, to join our family. Alright guys, see ya.
But now that you're gone, I can fly.
What is up, guys? It is your LOL support here, and today we're going to be bringing you guys a Gragas top guide, and this was requested by a couple people in some personal messages, and I've been playing him a lot recently, both in solo queue and on my ranked 5s team, and he's been such a pleasure to play with that I figured, you know what, let's bring you guys another guide on the Fat Man and see if we can get some of you guys playing him in the top lane. So, for those of you who don't know, Gragas is a champion that is primarily a mage, or a fighter, and secondary mage. And since his rework to a lot of his ratios and some of his kit abilities, he's seen a little bit less play in the mid lane. He made a little bit of a appearance into the jungle, but then ultimately his appearance finalized in the top lane for a majority of Season 4. So, let's get into some of his abilities. His passive ability, Happy Hour, is an ability that on use of some ability, any ability, your ult, your Q, your W, or your E, on any use of your ability, Gragas takes a drink, restoring 4% of his maximum health. And this has a cooldown of 8 seconds, so you can't spam Q, W, E, R and get back 16% of your maximum health. You have to wait about 8 seconds in between each of your casts. So that one's a pretty straightforward passive. Make sure you use this in conjunction with when you decide to go in, or keeping this in mind when you're ignited or things like that. It might be able to save your life. So just keep that one in mind. Let's go into his Q, his barrel roll, and this is the ability I choose to level first on Gragas. Has a relatively low cost. I mean, it's not the most inexpensive thing, but it's not the most expensive thing. But Gragas rolls his cask at a location, granting vision, so this is a good way to bush check. The barrel explodes when activated again, or it will explode on its own after 4 seconds, dealing magic damage to enemies in the area and slowing their movement speed for 2 seconds. The damage and slow increases as the cask ferments, up to 150%. So this means that if you leave the cask in a minion wave, it will deal additional damage to the minions and deal an additional slow to the enemy should he be inside of it and be in the area of it when it explodes. So right there you just saw early gank by the Shaco. It was a little bit off time, but we're gonna get the second go around right here. Shaco puts down a box, throws out an ignite. I'm waiting for the body slam, get the auto attack, and then get the last one, and we are able to pick up the first blood there. That was a good job by the Shaco. That is our jungler for our ranked 5s team, and he does a very good job. Just got his wisdom teeth pulled though, so you know, not doing much league right now, but I thought I'd give him a little shout out here. But yeah, so the damage is at 120, 180, 240, 300, and 360, and this scales with 90% AP. I'm not sure of how they're going to change this, but I do know that a couple of the ratios are going to change, not soon, but coming up. So enjoy him right now while he's not changed. And the slow percent is 30, 35, 40, 45, and 50%. And these cap out at 45, 52.5, 60, 67.5, and 75%. And that's just after the cask ferments. That's just after the cask ferments, and the magic damages I read to you were after the cask ferments for 4 seconds as well. So this ability is unique in that you can use it for wave clear and letting it sit there, or you can use it for zoning. If you go into the jungle and you're getting chased, you can use it to zone out your enemies, and you can also use this for quick burst. So you'll see me use this in a combo coming up later. The barrel does not collide with terrain, so you can throw this over walls and everything like that, and it will be able to grant you vision, so it's a good way to not have to bush check certain areas. So let's go into his Drunken Rage, which is his W, which depending on my laner, if my laner is somebody who typically builds health, say like a Mundo, I will build this, or I will max this, but if not, I'll tend to max Body Slam. It just all depends on how I feel about the matchup. A lot of your trade damage is going to be coming out of your W, just because it is a % damage, but we'll get into that right now. So, Drunken Rage has no cost, and has a cooldown of 8, 7.5, 7, 6.5, and 6 seconds. And I like to max this first, just because second, because it has no cost, and also it can proc your Happy Hour, which gives you more sustain in lane. So, when you activate it, Gragas takes a long swig from his barrel, disabling his ability to cast or attack for 1 second, and he gains a damage reduction for 3 seconds. Upon finishing his drink, Gragas' next attack within 5 seconds will deal bonus magic damage capped at 250 against monsters. So you get a 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18% damage reduction after you take the drink. And your bonus magic damage is 20, 50, 80, 110, and 140. And this scales with 30% AP, and this also, as you increase, deals 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12% of the target's maximum health. Not current health, maximum health. Meaning that this is going to do a lot of damage to tanks. So this is why I like to personally max it second against tankier laners, or laners that I'm going to be trading with a lot. But if I'm looking for more, like if that's not really the goal, I guess you could say, typically I'm usually maxing this second. On rare occasions will I max my Body Slam, but there are occasions where I do it. Say occasions where I'm not really wanting to trade, I'm using it as like a poke type deal, where I go in, Body Slam, barrel, and then leave. And I'm not having time to get off my Drunken Rages, because Body Slam does not increase with mana as you level it up. Right there you see, I'm going to back that up just a little bit because we were able to pick up the kill there. But I'm going to show you, that's not it. Okay, so that was at 655. We're going to scroll over to 643. Right about there. That's good enough. Okay, so right here, my Shaco is in the enemy jungle, and I realized that, and I saw the Skarner previously. So right here, we're going to try and see if we can bait out something, or if we can even potentially get a kill. So what you're going to see me do here is, you're going to see me roll a barrel past the Skarner, just in case if he decides to run away. But since the Skarner decided to not run away and keep going forward, I Body Slam him into my barrel, and then activate the barrel. So you're going to see that happen here, and we're going to play this slow motion just so you can see it. So right here, I see the Skarner, I throw the barrel past him, and then Body Slam him into the barrel and reactivate the barrel. And I'm gaining the damage reduction from my Drunken Rage, and you were able to see the amount of damage that I was able to get off on that next auto attack. And I end up getting the Ignite off, and then picking up the last hit on that kill, and we were able to pick up the kill there on the Skarner. So that was just an example of a good combo that I typically run with Gragas. So, yeah, that's pretty much the extent of Drunken Rage. You just get increased damage and damage reduction. Let's go into his Body Slam. This has a flat mana cost and a flat cooldown of 50 mana in 12 seconds. So this one is pretty efficient as far as mana costs are concerned. Active, Gragas charges forward, colliding with the first enemy unit. He deals magic damage to enemies in the area and bumps them back, stunning them for 1 second. So this is good because it's kind of an AoE knockback, and this will proc Yasuo's ult. So you can use this to work with Yasuo. Body Slam's cooldown is reduced by 3 seconds if Gragas collides with a unit. So when you're using this to get away, you're going to experience a little bit longer of a cooldown than to say if you were colliding with, like, say, Xin Zhao. You know, you'd get the 3 seconds off. And you get magic damage equal to 80, 130, 180, 230, and 280. And this scales with 60% AP. So this one does a pretty good amount of damage. It's also a good escape tool when you're getting ganked. Just make sure that you use it after the enemy has gotten behind you and you have a straight shot from you to the turret. Because if you try to body slam and they walk in front of you, then, oh, right there, I just totally whiffed the barrel. Completely missing all my spells there. Right there, I was getting so much crap from Austin. But yeah, that's an example of missing your skill shots. You get nothing. But anyways, back to the body slam. You want to make sure that the enemy laner is not in your way, because if they are, it will stop your body slam and you will not be able to get away. So make sure that you save this for when you're 100% sure that you're going to get the full distance and not collide with anybody when using this as an escape. And this can also go through a sizable amount of terrains, so don't be afraid to use this on pretty much any wall in League. It won't work on a couple of them, but like for example, coming up on the wall, you can even body slam through here, roughly. I mean, you can't body slam through the thickest part of it, but you can body slam through. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and show you guys. I'm going to switch over to the manual camera. As you can see right here, you can body slam from this tree all the way through here. You can't body slam through here, but you can definitely go from here to the brick wall. Like, that is a passable terrain that you can body slam through. So it has a very, very good cover distance, so you can get through a good amount of the walls. Now let's go into Gragas' ultimate, which is one of my favorite ultimates in the game, just because of the amount of catch-out potential that it has. Explosive cast active. Gragas throws his cast to a target 400 radius area and deals magic damage to enemies in the area and knocking them back 600 units. So this is a displacement spell that is intended to have great catch-out potential. So if you see an ADC in front of their support and at the same place as their tank line, that'd be a good time to use the catch-out potential. You can do pretty much anything. You can use it even as an escape. That's a good use for it as well. It's overall just a good tool, just because it allows you to displace so many people at one time that you can really change a fight with a good ultimate. And you'll see a couple team fights where I use a good ultimate and we're able to get a pick off and make it a 4v5 just because of one good barrel. Obviously I didn't land a good barrel, as you saw earlier. I missed my barrel and my little Q, so that was terrible. But not always am I that bad, so don't you guys worry. This damage, and it also has a good amount of damage too, at 200, 300, and 400 damage, and this scales 70% with AP. And this was nerfed from old Gragas, which scaled I think 120%, which is why he used to be so good in the mid lane. But now that it scales a little bit less, it's more of a utility compared to a damage tool. But nevertheless, it still works. So right here, we get into a team fight. I'm going to pause this and slow it down. You see I did miss my ultimate yet again. 2 for 2 on the missed ultimates, but what can you do? So we're going to go into this. I'm going to switch over to the manual camera. So right now we're pressuring mid lane because I've gotten my objective top, and after you get your top objective you want to rotate down to mid and pressure mid turrets. So right now our the Skarner just got the Shaco. So my thinking right here is typically what Skarners like to do is after the... I thought he was going to drag him a little further, so I'm going to throw my Cask about right here. But the Shaco gets away and the Skarner walks forward, and you're going to see I just barely missed my ult right here. So right here, Skarner ended up walking forward just barely out of the range of my barrel. So we weren't able to get the knockback there. However, what I'm doing is I'm getting my damage reduction from my Cask, throwing down the barrel as a zoning tool compared to an aggressive damaging tool, because I wanted to make sure that my Shaco and my Ahri, who is got out of the fight. So instead of rolling it towards them, I roll it as a defensive tool, kind of zoning them out from progressing. And then that was my disengage on that fight. So as you can see, Gragas has a good kit for either doing engaging damage or disengaging. So with that, we are all done with his abilities. Now let's go into some of the gameplay and the builds. As you can see, one of the first items I like to build on Gragas is I like to build a Rod of Ages. I feel like Rod of Ages works well with his kit. It gives him a good amount of mana, AP and health, and all in all, it's good for the laning phase too because of the passive on the Catalyst. It allows you to get that extra sustain after you level up. So right here, I'm just farming up the wave. Another good tip for you guys is when you're farming a wave, what you want to do is if you can barrel the back line of minions so that the outer rim on the far side is barely getting all the range minions, and the rim closest towards the melee minions is barely out of range, you body slam the melee minions into your barrel, and then what that does is it puts all of the minions into the range of your barrel, and you are able to CS all, like, the whole wave. I know that sounded really confusing. I'm going to hopefully be able to show you guys an example. Right here, simple duel with the Xin Xiao. We're going to back this up just a little bit so you guys can see. I mean, it was a pretty straightforward fight, but we will go back so that you can see. Xin Xiao is getting really aggressive on me, and I realize that he does have the minions right now, so I don't want to fight him just yet. I'm going to wait till I can thin out the minion wave. It's right there. Okay, so what happened was I was able to take out his tank minion, or his cannon minion, and I was able to take out 2 range minions. So now I have the minion advantage, so I'm thinking, okay, I have time to go in now, especially since I landed my Q. So that's my mental cue to go in. And then right here, before anything happens, before he flashes, I make sure I throw my ult early so that I can get him closer to these minions. And they're doing damage to him right now as well. So that's an example of not fighting in a minion wave that's bigger for him compared to you, and knocking him back into your minion wave so that your minions can help you do the damage to the target. So we're going to speed this back up. Hopefully you'll see an example of where I use my CSing trick. So right here, okay, you saw it a little bit there. Let's back it up to 1358. Okay, so we got another kill on him. Nah, I'm just kidding, this is a second kill. So right here, as you can see, the back minions are on the outer rim, and these minions, this one's inside, so I don't really have to body slam him, but if all 3 melee minions are right here, you just auto attack them till you are about to ferment the cask, and then walk back, body slam puts them into the range of the cask after it ferments, and you're able to get the full damage off on all the minions. So we're going to fast forward this a little bit. That was a good CSing tool that you guys can use. It clears minion waves very fast, and once your AP gets high enough with your Rod of Ages, you're able to farm whole minion waves without any trouble. So right there, I just picked up a kill. Lulu walked by, and it was unfortunate because she just barely escaped, but then Gragas was in the way, and always in the way. That's what you want to be as Gragas. You always want to be in the way. So we're going to speed this up. I'm going to go back to that and recap what I was thinking. So right here, I noticed that the Xin Xiao was not in lane, so I figured, you know what, he's probably going to be pressured in mid. So what I do is right here, I'm waiting in the brush. We're going to switch over to manual camera so that you guys can see this. Okay, so Lulu just got into an engage, and she's really low. Right here, I did take the kill from Ethan. I apologize, Efi. I hope you forgive me and accept this apology. But right here, we're hitting on the tower. Skarner decides to come in a really weird way, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zone him out by putting a barrel right here. So you're going to see, I auto-attack him, I throw the barrel out, so that should he try and escape, my barrel will be able to slow him and help out my allies. So right here, I'm taking turret shots. Probably didn't need a flash there, but I wanted to make sure I was going to get out of that, and I was taking turret. And right there, being the nice guy that I am, giving the kill over to Ethan. Just because I took his Lulu kill, I felt bad. I felt like, man, I owe this to him. So we got that easy kill off on Skarner, and we were able to take the turret. So now I see that my top wave is pushing, so I'm going to make an effort to try and get back to that and miss as little CS as possible. Because as Gragas, the more you CS, well, this goes for any champion, really, but if you can stay up in CS, then you're going to be able to get your items faster. Right now, I just hit level 11, so I got a power spike because of my ultimate. You see right there, just using the farming tool that I just told you guys. So Xin Xiao is level 9 and I am level 11. So I'm down to duel him. I just want to wait for me not to be in the turret. So right there, I use my Drunken Rage on the cannon minion. Body slam, get the whole wave except for the cannon minion, just barely missed that. I'm going to let him base so I can pick up this tower. We're going to speed this up. You see I'm letting the tower deny as many minions as possible. So what you guys want to do is you don't want to kill the turret as fast as you can. You want to let the turret deny as many minions and kill as many minions before it goes down, so that's CS that they can't get. See, had I not denied him that, and had I just waited for the turret to, or had I just auto attacked the turret full on, right there, just barely missing combo. That's a quick combo as Gragas. It's Q, E, and when you body slam and land, you reactivate your Q. You don't get the full fermented damage, but you still get a lot of burst out. But I was able to deny him a cannon minion and a melee minion because I let the wave get killed by the turret. So right here, I just throw out the cask, let it ferment a little bit, and then activate it so it clears out the caster minions. I'm kind of waiting around in the fog of war to see if I can maybe pick up a kill on Skarner or Xin Xiao if he steps out of position. So we're going to wait in the bush right here, see if potentially Skarner comes through, because we did see him clear his blue buff because we do have that thing warded up. But sadly we were not able to get the Skarner, but instead we find ourselves 2 nice kills here. So we're going to slow this down just a little bit, and we're going to click play. So right now I see that everyone is clumped up in one area, so I use my E, or my Q and my W before I E, because I want to be able to get my W damage off the second I get into that fight. So you see I was able to insta-gib the Lulu, and then after that kill the Tristana right away. So right here, just landing auto attacks and just being tanky for my team. And we were able to get a significant amount of burst damage off right when the fight started, just because of my barrel, Drunken Rage, and then E in. And that also provides a lot of CC, because not only does the barrel slow, but the knockback and the stun helps out your team as well. So we're going to speed this back up. Go back, and we're just clearing out the minion waves, throwing a little dance party right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's the #1 key is Gragas. If you're not dancing like that, then you're not doing Gragas right. So if you're ever wondering why you're not doing as well as Papa Sean, it's because you're not dancing. So you're gonna see me dance a little bit. So let's get a little zoomed in here. Throw down the laugh and get the dance going. You know, show them that it's a jolly old time. And then make sure you clear the camp so that you get the timers. So right here, Xin Xiao spotted me. I don't care to fight because we are too deep in the enemy jungle without any help. And here's breaking out another team fight. So we're going to switch over to the manual camera. And right now, Skarner just pulled Show in. However, he was able to get out by ulting. And right now, I'm in the mix of things. So I'm getting hit on right now by 2 people, but I'm doing my job as a tank and I'm able to distract my team. Now they're tunneling on my teammates and they have a disadvantage in the mid lane compared to me, who has a disadvantage up here. But since I have a good amount of utility and escape, I'm able to get out of that and not only survive, but take out their tank and front lines from these guys here. So they weren't able to progress on my teammates. So basically by going in, distracting, pulling them away, and then escaping, I'm able to allow my teammates to survive because they no longer have a tank line, and my team is overall going to be doing more damage because we're generally a higher level than their team. So that's an example of zoning out the enemy team, or taking the attention of their tanks and pulling them away from their front line, or from their back line. So I still have my ultimate up, and they're a little bit out of position compared to us. And we have a turret, so you see I take a swig of Drunken Rage. I'm going to roll my barrel in. And then you're going to see the body slam. I just barely missed with the body slam. But right here, I see the Xin Xiao was a little bit out of position. He dashes so I'm not able to get the catch out and pull him backwards. But you see I'm working my way through, I'm being the front line, and my Shaco is doing significant damage onto the Malzahar. So I'm just continuing the charge, trying to do as much tanking as I can. And this is a good position you want to be in, especially if there's like a Lucian on the other team. You can take up a lot of the bullets for your team, and especially since we have a Soraka, I'm not too worried about tanking damage because we're able to sustain that all back from her healing. So I'm just farming up the rates right there, and this turret's really low, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what guys, I think we can just get this turret. I mean, right now I am 6-0. It's kind of like, man, we are really powerful right now. I think, like, right there, force the flash out of Xin Shao. I body slam and commit right there, just knowing how to flash over walls, practicing that. I was able to get out just very cleanly, very easily. I'd rather waste a flash there compared to testing and seeing if I could get out without a flash. Because if I were to die there, that could have allowed them to get a Baron or something like that and potentially get caught back up in the game. Because right now they're behind a good amount of gold. So a Baron at that point for them would have been very significant, but we did not give that over to them. So we're going to speed this up a little bit more. Just picking up a blue buff, and we're going to be using that. Blue buff works really well on Gragas. If your mid laner's not doing too hot, take blue buffs as Gragas, because you'll be able to help out your team a lot, and also help yourself out a lot too. So right there, body slamming them in, and you look at my items, I'm picking up an Iceborne Gauntlet afterwards. I don't particularly like picking up the Lickbane, because, oh, right there, I just barely missing the body slam through the wall. I'm gonna get the Iceborne Gauntlet proc off on the Skarner, and I was able to slow him. But anyways, going back to why I don't particularly like the Lickbane is because I feel like as a top laner, you're supposed to have a little bit of tankiness behind you, and the Lickbane gives you a good amount of AP, but I don't value the high burst damage as much as a Gragas top. I value more the utility that I can bring to my team. And with Iceborne Gauntlet having the active slow in an AoE, I feel like I'm more of an asset to my team as a front line compared to somebody who's just an assassin. Because Assassin Gragas, I made a guide on that way back when in Season 3. And it's a very valuable and very viable guide, or very viable build, but with the ratios being the way they are and the position I'm playing him in, Assassin Gragas isn't really what I'm going for. I'm more going for utility Gragas and helping my team and everything like that, while still having a decent amount of damage. And you see that the Iceborne Gauntlet is giving me 30 AP, which it's not that bad, but it's definitely not the highest AP, but it gives me 60 armor, 10% cooldown reduction, and 500 mana. So I'm going to be able to spam a lot more and get more small damage off on the enemy team. And that's going to make a difference in the long run. And also it's going to help out my burst combo for catching out those out of position people, while still keeping me relevant to provide CC for my team. And then other items I like to build a Zhonya's Hourglass, because when you go in a lot as Gragas, you're going to be facing a lot of damage, and you're going to be facing a lot of focus. So if you're able to Zhonya's, you allow for your cooldowns to come off, and you allow for yourself to lose the enemy focus, I guess you could say. And it allows you to do your job more efficiently and a little bit better and survive longer. So I like building Zhonya's Hourglass. Death Cap, I'll only usually build if I'm extremely ahead. I'm talking extremely. Right now our team's pretty far ahead, so I probably would have built it in this game, but I was more focused on just making sure that we cleaned up this game as soon as possible. I wasn't lollygagging around. But a Death Cap is definitely not a bad option on Gragas. It will help out your Q damage, seeing as how you scale 90% with it. But like I said, I prefer to build a little bit more utility to the team. I'll also pick up a Sunfire Cape sometimes, not often, but it's up to you. It depends on what kind of things you're doing as a Gragas. If you're providing more tankiness, then you can definitely go for the Sunfire. You can go with like a Randuin's. You can go with the Guardian Angel, things like that. If you're a little bit of your team's damaged, then I would advise against that. So right there I was able to pick up the double kill and basically keep my team safe in that whole fight. So as you can see, Gragas offers a lot to his team comp if you're able to see windows of opportunity and catch out potential. If you can see those, then you're going to offer your team a lot as far as a top laner is concerned. And also, after a certain point, you can even start bullying a lot of the lane bullies too, like Renekton, Pantheon. You can start beating up on them too with the Gragas. Just make sure that you take down the Aegis shield of the Pantheon before you use your W, because that'll take out a lot of damage since it is an auto attack. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed the guide. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Top lane Gragas is really strong, and I recommend that you guys go and check him out. But we have a few projects coming up in the future that we're gonna need the community's help with, so videos and information on that will be coming out fairly soon. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great weekend. This has been your LOL Support, and I am out of here.